I cannot believe for the second day in a row I am coming on here to come to the defense of Skip Bayless. I'll be honest with you guys. I've actually gained a little bit of respect for Skip Bayless in the last 24 to 36 hours. I did not agree with the forced apology. From what I have read, executives at Fox Sports asked Skippy to either apologize or clarify the meaning of his tweet from Monday night. But the thing is, there was no clarification needed. If you have the reading skills of a fourth grader, you understood exactly what he was trying to say. I don't like forced apologies, especially when the apology is issued over backlash from a segment of the population that is absolutely useless. You guys know the golden rule here on the channel. You never, ever apologize to these people. Ever. They view an apology as a sign of weakness, and they will exploit that weakness to their advantage. Over the last 24 to 36 hours, there have been hundreds, maybe even thousands of demands for Skip Bayless to be fired. I actually want to credit executives at Fox Sports for refusing to acquiesce to these demands. Instead of bending over prepping for insertion of the supersized cucumber, Fox Sports stood their ground and essentially told these people, fuck off. We don't make business decisions based on the opinion of overly emotional men holding on to their emotional support shovel. There have also been accusations that all of this was an elaborate scheme by Shay and Skippy Bebe to boost ratings for Undisputedly Woke. The ratings for this show absolutely suck. Last Friday, they drew only 155,000 viewers. Now, I understand why some people would think this controversy was a scheme to increase ratings. A couple of months ago, I floated that same theory here on the channel. Over the last couple of months, there seems to be some dissension between Shay and Bay. They've been like two jilted lovers throwing passive-aggressive jabs at each other. I've been thinking it was all a setup. They were simply playing their roles to perfection. Now, I don't think the tweet from Monday night was part of the scheme, but I am starting to believe there could be some trouble in the land of the woke wiener. When you go through a divorce, the process happens in stages. Very rarely do people make the decision to divorce over a one-time occurrence. Often happens over time, death by 1,000 cuts. Start small, a passive-aggressive comment here, an argument there. Over time, small problems escalate to major issues. Eventually, you get to a point where you just can't stand to be around each other. Now, from the outside looking in, it seems Shay and Bay are reaching the final stage of divorce. Skip Bayless, he used to get into heated debates with Stephen A. Smith, but things never got personal. Last month, it got personal between Shay and Bay. They were arguing about Tom Brady. Skip Bayless started taking personal shots at Shay's NFL career. Staying true to form, Shay became extremely emotional. During the commercial break, he was yelling at producers to find his emotional support shovel. His emotional support shovel is named Andy. My inside sources tell me Shay could be heard crying in his dressing room, upset that his lover no longer thinks the world of him. Shay was so emotional. He was so triggered by this verbal assault. He ended up splitting Andy's handle while trying to enjoy a therapeutic round of the bongo. As you guys know, the Butt Brigade was upset with Skip Bayless over his tweet Monday night. I showed you guys a few examples of their fake outrage yesterday. One member of the brigade who was noticeably silent was Brigadier General Shannon Sharpe. When the fake outrage was peaking Monday night on Twitter, Shay, who has tweeted over 144,000 times in 11 years, suddenly lost his Twitter fingers. Now, this is the same dude. Well, at least he looks like a dude. He acts like a damn woman. Perhaps we should get a biologist on the set of Undisputedly Woke to properly confirm gender. But this is the same dude who tweets every time he sees a rainbow. This is the same dude who on lonely nights sends out woke mating calls via shirtless selfies. On average, Shay tweets 36 times a day. Yet during the biggest fabricated scandal so far this year in the world of sports, involving what could be his former love, he exercises his right to remain silent? Yesterday morning, Handfuls of people waited with anticipation for Undisputedly Woke to come on the air. The Butt Brigade wanted to see Skippy humbled and apologetic, but they also wanted to see the reaction of Shay Shay, who most shitfucks weirdly refer to as Unc, even though they're not related, never met him, and he's a grown man who gave himself a feminine name. If you want to pretend you're related to Shay Shay, you should be calling him Aunt. Otherwise, you are violating the second woke commandment. Thou shalt not misgender a birthing person. Yesterday morning, the clock hits 9:30. The pink chair normally occupied by Shay on FS1 was empty. What the hell's going on? Where is Auntie Shay? He called in sick. He didn't have the Fauci, didn't have a cold, didn't have the flu. He had the blues. You see, Shay was emotionally triggered Monday night. He was not only triggered by the supposed insensitivity of the man he wants to call his husband, he was also triggered by what happened on the field. According to Shay, this just hit me differently. My emotions runneth over. Let me ask you something. How many of you guys were allowed to take off work yesterday? I'm pretty sure everyone was impacted by what happened with Damar Hamlin. How many of you called your boss and said, I can't come to work today. Someone I have never met is fighting for his life. I am just too emotionally triggered to work. How many of you did that? My guess, none. If you did, pretty sure your ass would be fired. I had someone email me yesterday, or maybe they commented on one of the videos. They were sharing a personal story. It may be true, it might not be true. All I can do is take their word for it. But they were working at a factory. There was an accident at the plant. One of the workers on their shift lost his life. Now, did the plant shut down? Did they send everyone home to grieve? No, they kept working. That's not how it works, though, in the world of entitlement. People like Shannon Sharpe are quick to accuse others of having white privilege, when the only person utilizing their privilege yesterday was Shay Shay. Skip Bayless showed up to face the music. Shannon Sharpe, he was at home cuddled up on the couch with Bikini Bob. But after a day filled with tears and woke hugs, Shannon Sharpe woke up this morning, put on his tenacious thong, and worked up the courage to face his bae. It only took about 30 seconds for the feminine emotions to be on full display. Now, there's a lot for me to break down in this 90-second clip, but go ahead and watch it for yourself.
Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead, let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Well,
you could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought,
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were going to bring up
No,
this.
I was just going to say, Skip, I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No. Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanation, so clearly somebody.
No, they did not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
Okay, first of all, I don't know what was discussed behind the scenes, but according to Skip Bayless, both he and Shay agreed not to reference this tweet. Now, if this is true, I don't blame him for interrupting the monologue to defend himself. You tell me you're not going to do something, then go back on your word 30 seconds into the show, I would be aggravated about it too. But not only that, when Shay broaches the tweet he agreed not to mention, and Skippy interrupts him, Shannon Sharpe throws a mild passive-aggressive temper tantrum. Go ahead, Jen. Let's just change the subject. I don't want Skip to publicly call me on my bullshit. I can't even get through my monologue. Oh! This is the hypocrisy we often talk about. Shannon Sharpe, he wants to throw the rock, then hide his hand. He demands Skip Bayless delete his tweet. Why? What purpose does that serve? Last I checked, the tweet has been viewed over 20 million times. Screenshots are all over the internet. If he deletes the tweet, it still exists. When he was pushing back, Skip Bayless made an interesting admission. He said, I'm not deleting the tweet, because I stand by what I said. Now, I thought this was great, but this should have been said yesterday. If you stand by what you said, why are you apologizing? This just proves these manufactured public apologies are meaningless. They issue these apologies trying to appease the unappeasables. It's a lose-lose. Normal people think you're a coward because you refuse to stand against the wanker spankers. The shit fucks view it as a sign of weakness and still revoke your invitation to the Butt Bongo Festival. You can't win. Shannon Sharpe claims he wanted the focus to be on Damar Hamlin and not on the tweet from Skip Bayless. Who mentioned the tweet? I didn't hear Skip Bayless mention it. You did! If you wanted the focus on Damar Hamlin, why did you bring it up? You could see and feel the tension between Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Maybe I was wrong. Perhaps the constant fighting over the last couple of months was real. Or it could have started out as a ploy to increase ratings and they found themselves in a situation where fantasy became reality. They played their roles so well, they developed legitimate disdain towards each other. Either way, this duo has never worked. I'm not saying Shannon Sharpe should lose his job with Fox Sports, but he does not need to be paired with Skip Bayless. Skip worked so well with Stephen A. Smith because they could get into these heated debates, but they still had respect for each other. They had chemistry on set. There wasn't this underlying tension. Stephen A. Smith, he might be over the top at times, but he never took things Skip Bayless said personally. He understood Skip Bayless was there to do a job. He was going to say outlandish, ridiculous things, setting up Stephen A. Smith to be the voice of reason. Shannon Sharpe is the complete opposite. He takes things personally. He makes himself the victim. They just don't work as a duo. It's never worked. Even with all the recent fighting and the attention it brought from the mainstream media, ratings for Undisputed still suck. When you're working as a plumber, you can not like someone, still work with them. Not the same when you're producing a show like Undisputed. Your two stars have to have chemistry, and in order to build chemistry, there has to be respect. They have to like each other. I don't think Shannon Sharpe has any respect for Skip Bayless, and vice versa. Seems to me Skip Bayless thinks Shannon Sharpe is mentally weak, mentally unstable. And hell, who can blame him? A grown man who calls himself Shay? I think he was unstable too. I don't see how Undisputed can survive, but give me your thoughts. Who's in the right here, Shay or Bay? Do you think Undisputed can survive with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.